That's wonderful, friends. So let us start today's talk on sacred relationships, 7 reflections. We are living in a world of action and reaction, a plane of demonstration, where our consciousness is creating the reality. Every second, every moment, in every situation, in every relationship. So we attract situations, we magnetize people into our life to learn our lessons, because our consciousness is attracting these people and these situations so that we can learn our lessons and we can grow and we can evolve. So friends, if we just look at the present situation in the society, whether it's about a relationship between 2 people, or a family, or 2 states, or 2 countries, it's a struggle. We don't understand many times what the other person is trying to express. Many times we also feel that the other person is not able to understand us. You can see that in many situations. And most of the times we are trying to prove that I am right, you are wrong. You are not able to understand my perspective. And we create so much of disharmony in our relationships, at the personal level, at the national level, or at the global level. So today, let us try to understand, because this wisdom is so universal. You can apply this wisdom in any situation, whatever is happening in your life. For example, you want to change the situations or change people in your life. I'll just give you one example. If you want to change, if we just look at this example, if every day we look at ourselves in the mirror, if not every day, maybe once in a week. So when you just look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like the image of yourself in the mirror, what do? Generally, we think that mirror is not good. So let me bring a different mirror. So maybe you'll bring a mirror with a silver coating. And you just look at yourself in that mirror. Still your image is the same. It doesn't change. So then again you thought, there is some problem with this mirror. Let me bring a different mirror. A mirror with a golden coating. Okay, you brought that mirror with a golden coating. And now again you looked yourself into that mirror. Still, your image is the same. It doesn't change. So friends, what we need to understand here is each and every person you have met in your life, each and every situation is a mirror. So that mirror is reflecting something back to you. That mirror is showing something about you. It's not about them. So then what happens? When that mirror is reflecting something back to you, you need to look at it. You need to understand, what is this mirror trying to teach me? What is this mirror trying to reflect to me? Unless until you are open to this wisdom, you keep on changing the mirrors and nothing changes in your life. And you're so frustrated. Same thing happens in our relationship. If a particular relationship is not working well, what do? Okay, I'm not happy with this person. Let me change this person. Let me bring someone else into my life. And you bring someone else into your life. But nothing changes. Whatever you have not learned from that mirror will again be reflected back through this mirror. So what is the solution? Changing the mirrors, or changing something within ourselves so that the image in the mirror changes. So friends, we have to contemplate on this, because the whole world is going through a lot of pain, lot of turmoil, lot of frustration, because we think something is wrong with our mirrors. And we are very, very busy trying to change those mirrors, trying to alter something in those mirrors. But we are not really looking here. What needs to be changed? What needs to be transformed? So this wisdom was given by Essenes. Essenes were great masters. They were supposed to be teachers of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ was also an Essene. So these masters were trying to really help everyone on this planet Earth through this wisdom, because this wisdom is so universal. It's not only applicable to India, it's not only applicable to America, no, it's universal. So this wisdom helps us to understand about our mirrors. This wisdom helps us to understand about our situations in our life, so that how we can learn, how we can grow, how we can evolve through this wisdom of these mirrors, friends. So this wisdom is about these 7 mirrors, and these 7 mirrors are completely different. Starting from the first mirror to the 7th mirror, because the first mirror is so obvious, because it's at a very superficial level. Everyone can recognize this mirror. And then as you move from the first mirror to the second mirror, it becomes deeper. And then second mirror to the third mirror, it becomes much more deeper. 4th mirror, 5th mirror, 6th mirror. And then the 7th mirror. 7th mirror is a very subtle mirror. It's a very simple mirror, but it's a very subtle mirror. So you need to be open. You need to remove all your masks. You need to just let go of all your defenses. You need to be open to understand about these 7 mirrors, my dear friends. I'll just give you one example of a teenager who went to a shopping mall and he wanted to buy a rare colored jeans, something like purple or violet. And usually it's very rare to find such colored jeans. So the shopkeeper was helping him for 2-3 hours. It was so difficult to find that colored jeans. And the shopkeeper asked this teenager, why do you want this colored jeans? It's such a rare color. Why don't you buy some other color? So then this teenager said, you know, my girlfriend likes this color, that's why I'm searching for this color. I really want this colored jeans. So then finally, after 3-4 hours, the shopkeeper found that colored jeans and gave to this teenager, and he was so happy to find that colored jeans, and he went back. After 1 week, the same teenager, he came back, and the same shopkeeper was there, and he told this shopkeeper, I want to exchange this jeans with some other color. So this shopkeeper was shocked. So he said, oh my God, last week you spent almost 3 to 4 hours to find this colored jeans, and now you came back and you want to exchange this with some other color. What happened? Did you change your mind? So then immediately the teenager said, no, I changed my girlfriend. So friends, this is what is happening in our life. We are trying to change everything around us, but nothing is changing. Nothing is happening. The same frustration, the same pain, the same misery. So now, after learning this wisdom, if you are open enough, if you are ready to apply this wisdom in your life, in your relationships, this can bring a huge shift, a tremendous shift in your personal life, in your personal evolution. So now coming to the mirrors, the 7 mirrors. Sometimes as you try to understand about these mirrors, as you try to learn about these mirrors, some mirrors are very clear. Or sometimes you will feel a resonance with a particular mirror because you need to really learn something from this mirror. Maybe in your spiritual path, you have worked enough so that you have already healed some of the mirrors. So it doesn't matter. What is more important is we need to understand. You need that courage to look at these mirrors and understand that, yes, this I resonate with this mirror, and this mirror is really teaching me something very valuable in my life. Otherwise, most of the times, we are so secretive. We mask so many things from our own self. We are not even aware of our own self. Forget about others. There are so many aspects in ourselves which we don't want to look at. Not at the conscious level, but at the unconscious level, at a deeper level. So friends, unless until we are ready, unless until we have the courage to look at these aspects of ourselves, because you are not willing to look at yourself, the universe is sending you these mirrors in the form of people, in the form of situations, in the form of circumstances. So now let us try to understand about these 7 mirrors. The first mirror. The first mirror is the mirror of who we are in this present moment. The reflection of who we are in this present moment. So this mirror is trying to teach us about our vibration in this present moment. What energy we are carrying in this present moment. Our presence. What we are radiating in this present moment. It's so simple. Like attracts like. You must have read about this. You must have heard about this. It's a very, very superficial mirror. And we can relate with this mirror in our day-to-day life. For example, I'll give you this instance or incident where you had to finish some office work. You couldn't finish. It was very late and you slept. But you were so angry with yourself that you couldn't finish whatever you had to finish. So the next day morning, you just get up. But still you're angry with yourself. You're carrying this vibration that you couldn't do whatever you had to finish because you had to submit something to your boss, which is very important. So with that anger, what happens? You start your day. And you thought, maybe I'll just go to the office very quickly, early, so that I can just finish this part, whichever I couldn't do, I couldn't finish. So you're in a hurry. And in that hurry, you were just driving, very rash driving. And you hit some other car. And now the person from that car comes out, he will start shouting at you. You stupid! What do you want to do with yourself? You want to kill me? Can't you drive with awareness? So in that fight, everything is delayed. And then you have wasted maybe 1 hour of your time. And by the time you reach your office, it's already late. You had to reach the office, you had to submit whatever assignments you had to submit at 10 o'clock, but you have reached your office at 11 o'clock. And the minute you reach the office, somebody told, boss is waiting for you. You have to report to the boss. And the minute you go inside, the boss will just fire you. He's so angry at you. He's so mad at you. So friends, if you just look at this particular situation, you can very easily, very clearly understand that whatever your vibration was, people were reflecting the same thing about you. The person in the car, he was so angry at you. So that person is a mirror. And that mirror was reflecting to you about who you are in that particular moment. And in the same way, after reaching your office, your boss became so angry, your boss became so mad at you. So your boss is also a mirror. He was also reflecting to you of what you are and what your vibration is in this present moment. So it's such a simple mirror, and we experience it in our day-to-day life. I just gave you one example of anger. It might be fear, or it might be joy, it might be happiness, but the same thing will be reflected to you. So friends, after understanding about this first mirror, what do we need to do? It's simple. Change your vibration. The minute you change your vibration, everything changes around you. It's so beautiful. It's so simple. So now, after understanding about this first mirror, now let us move to the second mirror. This second mirror is much deeper. So this second mirror is a mirror of judgment, or it's a reflection of your judgment. So I'll just explain to you in a simple way by giving you some examples so that you can relate with it. So let us consider that On that particular day, you're very happy, you're very peaceful, you're very joyful. Your vibration is perfectly all right. But suddenly you have read something in the newspaper that news is about two best friends and they are doing some business together. And suddenly one day, this one of the friends, he has cheated this other person and he has taken away all his money. You have read this news. Everything was fine till that point, till that moment. After reading that news, suddenly you become you react in such a way, it's out of proportion. You start judging about that person. How can he be so dishonest? How can he cheat his own best friend? So friends, here we need to understand what happened. Everything was fine. You have read something, some news, and you just blown. You have reacted out of proportion and you started judging that person. What happened? So here we need to understand that there is something called discernment, to discern, to understand what is right, what is wrong. When you look at somebody, you will also look at people, you also understand their plus, their minus. That discernment is different, but judgment is completely different. You're judging somebody that they're so dishonest, they're so bad. They need to be punished. So, this particular situation has brought out some emotional charge out of you. So that clearly shows this mirror is not about your vibration. This mirror is not about what you are in the present moment, but it is about something, the emotional charge which you are carrying within yourself. Sometimes you yourself, you're not aware of this emotional charge. Even if something happens to you, you can respond in that situation, but you are reacting to this situation in a way which is just out of proportion. So that clearly shows this is the mirror of judgment. So when we just point our finger towards other people like this, you are wrong, you have done something wrong. We are pointing this finger towards them, but the other fingers are just pointing towards ourselves. So that means there is something we need to look at ourselves. Whatever we are judging in others, there is still that charge within ourselves. Unless we look at that part, we carry this emotional charge and we keep judging other people. So that's why Jesus Christ said, why do you want to look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes? Why don't you look at a big plank that is already there in your eye? It's so meaningful what the master has said. So if you hate somebody, then understand that, then realize that you are just hating that part in that person, that part which you are also carrying within yourself. So friends, this mirror is such an important mirror to understand about our own judgments. Maybe you have read many books, maybe you have meditated, maybe you're on the spiritual path, maybe you have worked on yourself, but still, if you are judging somebody, that means there is a part in yourself which you have really not looked at, the part which you have not really understood about yourself, the part which you have not really healed in yourself. So this mirror is trying to show us about that emotional charge, that part in ourselves which we have not looked at, which we have not healed. And this mirror, generally, it just becomes very obvious in our close relationships. Maybe your own loved one. They are pushing your buttons. You're experiencing so much of frustration in those relationships. You're judging them. So then it clearly shows. It's clearly showing you that this is the mirror of judgment. So this mirror is reflecting you of what you are judging in others. Once this lady came to us and she was just sharing about, her marital relationship. And she was just telling me that, I'm so upset with my husband. I want to divorce him. I don't want to live with this fellow because he's so angry all the time. He's so angry, he's so angry, he's so angry. So then I asked her, okay, what happens generally when he becomes angry? So then she told me that, he just, shouts at people. He just does all sorts of nonsense. And then I asked her, okay, when he does this, what happens to you? Then she said, initially I'm in pain, I'm frustrated. Then I asked her, what happens then? Then she told, I become so angry, I want to kill him. So, what she's judging in her husband, what she doesn't like in her husband is mirroring to her about her own judgment, about her own charge, the anger that is there inside her. Maybe it's not there at the superficial level, but it is there at a deeper level. And she's judging her husband that he is a very angry person. And she's so upset. She's so frustrated about this. So friends, if you have to understand this mirror, you have to you need to go within. Whenever such mirror comes in front of you, you need to understand that, you need to ask yourself this question: is this mirror of who I am in this present moment? If the answer is no, so then definitely it's the second mirror, the mirror of judgment, the reflection of your judgment. So you need to go deep within. You need to remove all your masks. And you have to understand, what is this charge within me because of which I'm reacting in a situation, because of which I'm judging somebody in a situation. Then you will understand about your own judgments, about your own emotional charge, about the residues of what you're carrying within yourself. And then only you can drop these judgments. So this is about the second mirror. After understanding the second mirror, now we'll move to the third mirror. And this third mirror is about loss, mirror of loss or reflection of loss. And we can also describe it as this is the mirror of our childhood. What we have lost as a child, what was taken away from us, what we have given away. Because every child has certain needs, and in order to get these needs, the child goes through certain situations, circumstances, and in that bargain, in that process, sometimes we give away, we lose something very valuable. So again, I'll explain this with an example so that you will understand what this mirror is about. So let us take, for example, a young girl, maybe 21-year-old young girl, and a 24-year-old young man. They just both meet in a party. So now let me just give you a little bit of background of what happened to this girl in her childhood and what happened to this man in his childhood. So this girl in her childhood, when she was 6 years old, one day she was just so happy with herself. She was just dancing at home. She was just playing loud music, dancing. Nobody was at home. And suddenly the mother comes home from office. She's so tired. She had some problem with the boss and she's so tired. She comes home, and the minute she enters the home, she saw that everything is scattered. And this girl is playing loud music, dancing, singing. And this mother, in her own frustration, she just shouts at that girl, "Just stop this nonsense. You have an ugly voice. Just stop this and just go to your room." That's it. She just uttered these words. She went into her room. For maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, she just relaxed. She rested very well, and she forgot about everything. Whatever she said, whatever has happened, she forgot about everything. And she comes back. Everything is normal for her. But for this little girl, the words that came from her mother are like the truth. Because the child takes it that way. Because for a child, the mother or the father, they're like God. So whatever my mother said about me, it's so true. I'm not good. I have an ugly voice. I'm not good enough. And from that moment onwards, she believed in those words and she stopped dancing, she stopped singing. She lost her confidence. It's very clear. She lost her confidence in this process. And now coming to this boy or to this man. Let us think that something, the mother and father, they were not having a good relationship with each other. They were fighting with each other every day, every minute. And in that frustration, they used to hit this boy. Now what happened? That boy lost his innocence. He became an adult because to just be in that state, to be in that environment of violence, he had to become an adult. He lost his innocence. He lost his playfulness. So this girl lost her confidence. This boy lost his innocence. Now they both meet in a party. This girl is just sitting quietly in a corner. And this boy is so courageous. He's just going everywhere, helping everyone, doing things. He's so dynamic. Now, this boy saw this girl, energetically connected to this girl. And he looked at her. Wow. So innocent. She looks so calm. And this girl looks at this boy or man and she's immediately attracted to him. wow, he's so dynamic, he's so amazing, he's just making friendship with everybody, he's so confident. Now, what happens? They just come together energetically. And both of them, they think, I have found my soulmate. Initially, for the first 1 year, everything is so beautiful. Wow, I like ice cream. The girl says, I like ice cream. The boy says, I also like ice cream. Then the boy will say, I like spiritual books. The girl will say, I also like spiritual books. So now this continues like that for 1 year. And now when they come together, maybe they are married, their honeymoon is over, now everything is over. Now everything comes to the surface. Now they realize that you are not the same person. The one I have met 2 years back was completely a different person. You don't love me anymore. You don't care for me anymore. They start fighting, they start arguing. So friends, now you need to realize here in this mirror that that girl was only reflecting to him of what he has lost. And that boy was reflecting to this girl of something what he has lost. But here they are under this misconception that this girl is going to complete me, or this boy feels she will complete me and she feels he will complete me. It's not possible. It's like if I have to give you an example of two beggars. Maybe I'll give you an example of the streets of Bangalore. A beggar in MG Road and a beggar in some Yelhanka, they're coming together, and the beggar here is asking the other beggar to give him something. It's not possible. Maybe you're a beggar in MG Road and this person is a beggar in Yelhanka, but two beggars can't offer anything to the other one because they don't have that. So even in our relationships, we are trying to beg something from the other person. Give me love, give me love, give me love, care for me. How is it possible? I can't give you what I don't have. And the other person also can't give you what they don't have. So friends, in this process, if we can understand that this particular mirror, whoever is this particular mirror in your life, they're only trying to remind you of what you have lost or what you have given away or what was taken away from you because of certain such situations, because of certain circumstances in your childhood. So now what you need to do? You need to understand that this mirror only has reminded me that I have lost this. And you can't find it in that person. You have to find it where you have lost that. If you have lost something on the road, you can't search for it in the home. You have to go out and search. Otherwise, you will not find it. So friends, this third mirror is trying to teach us about our loss, whatever we have lost in our childhood. So for that, your mind, at a very superficial, it will not be possible for you. You don't remember so many things about your childhood. So you need to go deep. You need to go into those subconscious layers to understand what you have lost. And you can only get it back from that place where you have lost it. So this mirror is trying to teach us about that childhood loss. It's so amazing, this mirror. Otherwise, we create so much pain in our marital relationship or in our love relationship, because you are trying to demand love from each other. You are trying to demand things from each other, which is not at all possible, my dear friends. So now after understanding about this mirror, we'll just move to the fourth mirror. And this fourth mirror is about reflection of forgotten love. It could be a way of life, or some unfulfilled relationship, or some patterns that are repeating in your life. So now what happens most of the time, very often, this mirror is a mirror of our past lives. Whatever we didn't complete, whatever was unfinished, will come into our life as repetitive patterns, in our relationships. So we need to understand about this. So whatever wrong conclusion we have made because of certain situations in our past lives, we have to understand the truth. So this mirror is about that reflection of unforgotten love or unforgotten truth. Forgotten love or forgotten truth. So friends, I just shared this case study about a lady who came to us, and she was feeling that her husband will abandon her. She carries this feeling. She doesn't know why she carries this feeling. But her husband is very nice. He is very loving. He cares for her. In spite of all that, she carries this feeling that my husband will abandon me. So with this fear, with this feeling, she always tries to possess him. She tries to control him. And whenever he has to go out on work, this intense thing comes out. Oh my God, now he will abandon me. So friends, she really wanted to work on this. Why this is repeating? Why this is repeating? This feeling is coming back to her again and again. So when she connected back to a past life, she connected to a lifetime where she saw herself as a beautiful girl, and the prince of that kingdom somehow, met her, and he's in love with her, and he promises her that I'll just go back to my kingdom and I'll just take permission from my parents, and then I'll marry you and I'll take you back to my kingdom. And then she says, okay, please come back. I'll be waiting for you. And this prince left her. He went back to his kingdom. He never came back. She was just waiting for him for years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. She became so old and she was dying. And in those dying moments, she felt so betrayed, abandoned by him. She felt, he betrayed me. He abandoned me. She died with these thoughts. And now she came back and she recognized that that same prince is the husband of this lifetime. But in this lifetime, he's so loving, he's so caring, but still she's carrying that same feeling, that same pattern, that he will abandon her. So now, in that higher states of consciousness, in that session, I just guided her to connect back to that life between life state and asked her to look at, now just look at what happened to that person. Yes, you died waiting for him. But now just see, as the soul, look at that person, what happened to him, why he didn't return. So then he could connect to that whole thing. And she understood that when he went back to his kingdom, immediately there was a war. And he had to go. He had to fight for his kingdom, and he was killed in that war. So he couldn't return to her. So she needed to understand this truth. Otherwise, she had made a wrong conclusion that he had betrayed her, he had abandoned her. So once she realized the truth, once she realized what exactly happened, she could completely come out of those patterns. That pattern or that feeling that was bothering her again and again. So friends, all those wrong conclusions we have made because we have believed in some lies. We have not realized the truth. So all those wrong conclusions, we need to make it right. Then only we will be able to connect to the wisdom of the soul. So this mirror is trying to show us about these patterns, these addictions which we carry in our life. So once we learn this lesson from this mirror, then we move on to the next mirror, that is the fifth mirror. And this fifth mirror, this mirror is about our mother and father. It's such, again, a deep mirror. There is a saying that we marry our mother and father, whether we like it or not. Whatever is unfinished with our parents, it tends to come back into our life, in our relationship, especially spouse relationships. I'll just give you this example of a girl, little girl, who was so upset with her father because her father was an alcoholic and he was not at all taking the responsibility of the family. The mother is taking care of everything. She's so angry with her father. And when she just grew up, when she became an adult, she left her family because she just wanted to leave that family. She just wanted to leave that father. She wanted to move far from that parents, thinking that I will create my life. I don't want to live this sort of life. So then she went away. And then she met somebody. She was in love with that boy. They got married. And within few months, she realized that he is also an alcoholic. He doesn't take responsibility. Exactly the same what she hated in her father. So this boy came into her life to mirror, to show her about her relationship with her father. And she is also behaving exactly like her mother. She's so angry with her husband because he's so irresponsible. He's an alcoholic. So friends, here what we need to realize, what we need to understand is there are so many things at an unconscious level we absorb from our parents. Maybe there are some healthy things, but there are some unhealthy patterns. And we just act out those things. And when we don't heal our relationship with our parents, then it just comes back to us. It's so important to accept our parents because they are the source. They have given you this birth. So whatever feelings you have towards your parents, it will also be reflected towards the Creator principle or the God principle. If you don't heal your relationship with your mother, even if the Divine Mother comes and sits in front of you, you will not be able to recognize her. You will not be able to receive the love from the Divine Mother because you need to heal that relationship with your mother, with your father. So, if you just say, I accept my mother and father as they are, it doesn't work. You're just accepting them at a very superficial level. If this mirror has come into your life, this mirror has clearly shown you that you have not healed your relationship with your father. You have not really healed that part. So we need to heal that aspect. Otherwise, we also feel angry towards the creator principle. We also feel the God is so irresponsible. He has just created us and he's not taking care of us. He's so irresponsible. You feel the same anger towards the creator principle, the divine mother or the divine father or the divine creator. So friends, here the fifth mirror, if you have some mirror, something like this in your life, this mirror is trying to teach you that you need to heal your relationship with your mother and father. You need to accept them as they are. They have given you this birth. That is enough. You need to have all that respect, gratitude for them. They have given you this opportunity to be in this body. But it's not as easy I'm explaining here, because we have been helping thousands of people, lakhs of people, how they carry these wounds, how they carry these patterns. And when you realize that, when you recognize these patterns, then you will be able to heal those wounds, and then you will be able to accept your parents as they are. And once you heal your relationship with your parents, then you also heal your relationship with the creator principle. Otherwise, maybe you're meditating, but it doesn't help you to go deep within. It doesn't help you to reach to that level, because there are these aspects in yourself which you have not healed with your creators of this lifetime, because your mother and father are the creators of for you in this lifetime. They created you in this lifetime. So once you heal this, the mirrors also change. The change happens. So now, after understanding about this mirror, now we'll move on to the sixth mirror. This sixth mirror is also a very, very important mirror, because most of the time we don't even want to look at this part of ourselves. So this sixth mirror is teaching us about the dark night of the soul, the darkness, our deepermost fears, our deep challenges. We don't want to look at it. I'll just give you this example of somebody. And he used to get this fearful thought that he might lose his loved one. Oh my God, this fear itself is so scary. Losing our loved ones, maybe losing your own child. So what he used to do, whenever he used to get this fearful thought, it is so painful, it is so deep within, he used to just divert himself from that thought. He used to just watch a movie, he used to read a book, or he used to just go out, and he tried to mask that deepest fear. So now what happened after a few years, suddenly everything was fine. He was doing this a job in a software company, drawing a nice salary of 3 to 4 lakhs every month, a beautiful wife, 2 children, very brilliant, bright children. Everything was absolutely fine. And suddenly, one day, his 5-year-old daughter met with an accident and she died in that accident. And he loved her daughter so much, and everything collapsed. His world collapsed. He went into such deep depression, and he couldn't do any work. He lost his job, and his wife tried to stay with him for 1 year, 2 years, but he was so depressed, so depressed. It was so unbearable for her, for the wife to be with him. She left him. He was left all alone, losing all the loved ones. So friends, here we can understand how when we don't look at that deep innermost fear of ours, when we don't face, when we don't deal with it, whether you call it dark night of the soul, then what happens? It's there. This deep dark fear is there within you. You just don't want to face it. You have been avoiding it. The more you're avoiding it, the more it is just coming back into your life with so much force, and you have to face this challenge. You have to face this deep innermost fear. And everything, the deepest innermost fear he had, the fear of losing loved ones, it has manifested in his life. How much ever he wanted to avoid it, how much ever he wanted to divert himself from that, it has manifested. So friends, this mirror is trying to tell us, it's trying to show us the deep, dark fears will show up. They are our challenges. Unless until we face these challenges, we can't move on. We can't evolve. And nobody, God or the divine, doesn't give you those challenges if you don't have that strength to face those challenges. You are equipped with that strength. You are having that courage to face those challenges. That's why you have chosen these challenges. That's why the situations in your life will throw you these challenges, my dear friends. This is about the sixth mirror, a very, very important mirror. You need so much of courage, so much of strength, so much of awareness to face this fear. And then we'll move on to the seventh mirror. This seventh mirror is about self-perception or self-love, a reflection of your self-perception. How you feel about yourself, whether it's your body or your color, whether it's your job or it's about your life, how you feel about yourself. Generally, in this society, we have a comparison for everything. If you have to understand about your beauty, these are the standard things. You compare yourself with other people. Oh, I have to be like Aishwarya Rai, then only I am beautiful. Maybe Aishwarya Rai feels that, oh, I have to be like Angelina Jolie. So always these comparisons, we have these comparisons for ourselves. We don't accept ourselves as we are. So I just want to share this example of this girl who always wants to be a model. She wants to be an actress. But she doesn't feel good about herself. She doesn't feel good about her looks. She doesn't feel good about her body. So what she tried to do is she went for some surgeries. She did this surgery, that surgery, all sorts of surgeries. But in spite of all the surgeries, she was not successful because she doesn't feel good about herself. So when she doesn't feel good about herself, the mirrors also, whomever she meets in her life, will also make her feel that you're not good, you're beautiful, you're not beautiful, you're ugly. So friends, this is such an important mirror. This is such a simple mirror, but a subtle mirror. The minute we realize that we are all unique, there is nothing called this person is beautiful, this person is not beautiful. Even if you are dark, you are beautiful. Even if you are fair, you are beautiful. Even if you are tall, you are beautiful. Even if you are short, you are beautiful. Everybody is unique in this creation. There's no one like you. You're so special. You're so different. You're so unique. You are part of that creation of the divine. So how can you be evil or bad, not good enough, not beautiful? It's not possible. So this mirror is trying to teach us about ourselves, how we perceive about ourselves. So friends, when we realize this truth that we need to love ourselves, we need to accept ourselves the way we are. Unless until we do that, nobody will accept us. Nobody will love us. Even if the other person tries to love us, we will not receive their love, feeling that I don't deserve this love. So this mirror is such an important mirror. It's such an important key for sacred relationships. You need to feel sacred. You need to feel that you are so sacred, you are so divine, you're so beautiful, you're so unique, you're so special. Then only from that sacredness, you can radiate sacredness. You can see sacredness in other beings. You can see sacredness in your relationships. So this is such an important key. Loving yourself is the key to have sacred, radiant relationships, my dear friends. I just want to share this joke about Mullah Nasruddin. One day Mullah Nasruddin asked his wife, why don't you spend your time in solitude for some days, just with yourself? So then his wife asked him, Mullah, how is it possible? I'll get so bored. So then Mullah Nasruddin immediately replied, if you are so boring to yourself, how can you think you'll be interesting for other people? So this is about the seventh mirror. If we feel so low about ourselves, if we feel we are not good enough, if we feel we are not divine, if we feel we don't have the strength, how can we expect that from others? So we have to connect to this love within our hearts, within our beings, because we are all made out of that love. Nobody is an exception. So once we connect to that, once we connect to that deep state of our being, then you become love. Then you radiate love. Then you manifest whatever you want to manifest in your life. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, you radiate this love. You radiate this joy. Your being becomes that love, and your being radiates that. You don't need to put any more efforts for that. It just happens. How a beautiful rose, how it just spreads its beauty, or a jasmine, how it just radiates its fragrance. It becomes so natural for you. So friends, these 7 mirrors, this such an important wisdom. It is so universal. You can apply anybody, irrespective of their nationality, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their gender. Everyone can implement this wisdom in their day-to-day life, my dear friends.
Thank you, Lakshmi, madam. This is so great. Karthikeyan sir, you joined.
Wow.
Great.
Sir.
So you can stay away
How
from
are
Lakshmi,
you?
madam.
Sir, wonderful, sir. So nice to see you.
Imagine, you see, I couldn't avoid. I couldn't. I said I must come and see you, and hear you, and greet you.
Yes, sir.
So I'm coming from the other session. As soon as it is over, I just moved on. I know you will still be here. I'm happy. I heard at least your last 4 mirrors. And seeing you always, you're radiating so much of joy.
Thank you so much.
Enthusiasm everywhere. I'm happy that I could come back before you.
Thank you so much, sir. You're a great blessing in our life. Whenever you just meet us, we receive so many blessings from you.
No, you too, both of you radiate. You are so radiant and bring about happiness, joy everywhere, like Ardhanarishwara. I was telling Dr. Newton, how can you be alone today?
Yes, sir, he is there.
I know, that day, a couple of days back. So I know you are coming, but then I had a prayer commitment with Shreyans. So the moment we started thanking, I didn't even wait for him to call me. I moved immediately to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Chandra. Such a joy to listen to you.
Thank you.
I think others should have the privilege of talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lakshmi. Dear friends, for some of you, you might not have got the information that we extend the session till 7:30. So it's 7:15. So we have another 15 minutes.
I think for my sake.
That's great, sir. Yes. So, sir, we forgot to send that flyer back to you, but we extended it because we knew that.
Matter. See, in anticipation, I have come.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will have a Q&A now, and then maybe in 15-20 minutes we'll close the session. So thank you for staying through, and this is such a wonderful wisdom. Like I mentioned, this is all beyond our mind plane. So there is so much deep that is coming from Lakshmi. Yeah, questions now, please. Go ahead, Ananthi madam.
Hi, Lakshmi, Janaki here. Now that Ananthi has unmuted me, so I think I'll go ahead and ask that, So I love that Mullah Nasruddin, joke. Remember, I was just wondering, how is it that Lakshmi is talking and no Mullah Nasruddin joke show so far? So yeah, thanks for that kind of completes it. Okay, so my question was, when you're talking about that mirror of healing required with parents, right? So I was connecting it with the clients that I have, right? So I have a young adult who's lost one of the parents, and now it was unhealed relationship, and it really, really bothers. So what are the therapeutic tools? What is it? How can she heal herself now?
Yeah, the most important thing is inner child work, Janaki. Because it's not a simple thing for a child to lose the parent. Generally, when the child loses the parent at a very early age, the child feels abandoned, rejected, unloved, most of the time very angry. That, why did you leave me like this? Because the child can't understand. The child only feels.
Right.
So in such a situation, first of all, your client needs to go through. She has to face her wounds first. She has to go through that pain. And after healing that wound only, she'll be able to reach to that understanding of an adult, that it was the destiny of the mother to leave, to die. And then she will be able to make peace with that parent. Otherwise, as long as she feels this anger, these feelings of abandonment, how could my mother leave me like this? How is it possible? She doesn't love me. So then,
is that true of an abusive parent as well? Inner child work?
Pardon?
Is that would that the same thing be applicable to for an abusive parent?
Yes, absolutely. You have to go to the depths. Generally, what happens is the pain is so intense, it is so painful, we just create some defenses so that we can protect ourselves, and we carry on in our life like an adult. But that pain stays with us in that deep subconscious mind. And the mirrors keep coming into our life because we need to heal those wounds. We need to heal our relationship with the parents, as I have explained you in the 5th mirror.
Yes.
Yeah, she needs to work.
Yeah, she needs a lot of work left. So I was just wondering, even if the parent is not alive anymore, but inner child work can be done, right?
It doesn't matter. She needs to heal her wounds. That's it. Yeah. She needs to heal her connection.
Right. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Janaki.
Ma'am, can you just a little bit elaborate on what this inner child is?
Yes, this inner child work is such an amazing work. I feel every individual on this planet Earth needs to do this work. I'll just explain to you in a nutshell every child is so divine, so unique, so special. And this child has certain needs. The need to be loved for who they are. But generally what happens in the society, every parent, they love their children. But the only thing is, they are not aware of these needs of the child. They just pass on whatever parenting they have learned from their parents. And apart from sharing their love, the parents also pass on the wounds to their children because they are not aware, they're unconscious. So because of this, what happens in the society, generally what happens? Generally we are loved for what we do, not for who we are. If you just look at a child, so much pressure is put on that child from the parent side, from the teachers in the schools or universities. You have to be the first. You have to succeed at any cost. So then what happens in that process? There is nothing wrong in becoming successful. There is nothing wrong in getting the first mark. But in that process, what happens? The child is not loved for who he is or who she is. They are loved for what they do. So generally what we do, if the child is coming first, okay, come, I'll give you this gift. A reward is given to the child. If the child is failing in examination, they are being punished. Okay, go. I'll not speak to you. I'm upset with you. I'm just explaining in general. So this is how, it becomes so conditional. The love becomes so conditional. It's based on reward punishment system. So now what the child does is, the child needs that love. It's a need of the child. The child needs that love for the survival. So in order to receive that love from the parents or the caretakers, what that child does is, the child loses something beautiful, something precious. And that child starts wearing some defenses. There is so much pain in that child. The child will mask that pain. Or maybe that loneliness. Because the child is not receiving that love, that touch from the parents. Parents are doing everything. They are providing food and they're sending to the best possible schools. But the parents are not there physically with that child. Maybe the mother is present at home, but emotionally she is not available to the child. So in such cases, when the needs are not met, the child is wounded. But what the child does is, because he has to carry on in his or her life, so then they form some defenses. That defense becomes like, you start becoming an adult. You numb your emotions. That also is an emotion. That's also a defense. And in our day-to-day life, we can see so many men, they can't cry because they were taught, you are a boy, you can't cry. If they cry, if you see tears in a boy's eyes, immediately the caretakers or the parents or the society, they just say, don't cry like a girl. What happens then to that boy? Don't you think boys are emotional? They are not human beings. They also have emotions, they also have feelings. But in order to prove to the parents, to the caretakers that I am a boy, I will not cry like a girl, he closes himself to all the emotions, to all the feelings. And what will happen? The consequences will come when this person gets married. In so many families, in so many relationships, almost 99% of marriage relationship, most of the wives, they come to me and they cry. They say, my husband is like a wall. He doesn't have any emotions for me. He doesn't understand what I am feeling. So that becomes such a big block in your future relationships. I'm just giving you an example. What can happen to that child when those emotions are numbed, when those feelings are not respected? So he just numbs himself. He closes his heart center for all emotions and for all feelings. And later on, it creates problems in his marital life. And in many relationships, I have seen the wife coming and telling, I want to divorce my husband. I want to leave my husband because he doesn't understand me. He doesn't feel what I am feeling. Or they just stay in that relationship, but they cry every moment, every second they cry. How can we create harmony in such relationships? How can we create sacredness in such relationships? See how what happened in the childhood has affected the adult life, and how that person keeps on experiencing pain, and how that person also gives pain to others. So if such a father, he's not able to hug his son, if he is not able to show his expression how much he loves his son, the son feels, my father doesn't love me. For my father, what is more important, my father is, work is more important, my father, than me. He doesn't love me because something is wrong with me. The child feels there is nothing wrong with the parents, but they feel there is something wrong with them. So friends, just this example, with this example, you can understand how it affects all areas of your life. Is it clear? So it is so important to heal the wounds, to retrieve that divine child, healing all the wounds. Then we connect back to our own divinity. Then we connect back to who we truly are.
Thank you, ma'am. Very clear now.
Thank you. One more question, maybe, or I'll just, Chandra?
Yeah, we'll take one more question.
Yes.
And I'll tell
Yes. I'm unmuting Miss Vandana.
Hi, how are you, Lakshmi? Very nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
It was very cool section.
Thank you.
As you explained, fifth one mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have all the mirrors, one, first one, we judge people, everything, I would say, then how we are going to heal? Can you guide us?
One by one. There's no hurry. One by one. Because some of us, we might resonate with all the mirrors. Some of us, we might resonate with certain mirrors. That clearly shows that we need to heal that particular mirror, that aspect in our life. So if you feel that you resonate with all the mirrors, start from the first mirror. Whenever you encounter a situation in your life, become aware of your vibration and change your vibration. Then start working on your judgments. If I just have to give you an example, whatever I have shared today, you can apply the same mirrors to the present situation, whatever is happening with this COVID-19. It's so amazing. You can apply it to whatever is happening right now in front of our eyes. For some of us, whatever is happening right now is a first mirror. That's what we are right now. We are with full of fear. And that's what we are experiencing outside. When we go out, policemen, these people, that everybody is, with so much of fear. They're reflecting that fear to us. And in the same way, like for example, some people, the situation can be a fifth mirror. You feel your parents have never loved you, and the environment you were, growing up was so unsafe for you. Right now, you're also feeling, some of you, if you have this fifth mirror, in this situation, you will feel so unsafe. You feel nobody is there to help you. Nobody is there to really bring you out of this situation. God has abandoned you. And in the same way, you can apply the same situation even to the seventh mirror. The seventh mirror is about self-love. The seventh mirror is about self-perception. What you feel about yourself. You don't love yourself. That's why outside, everywhere, there is so much of turmoil. There is so much of turmoil inside. And there is so much of pain, turmoil outside. And in the same way, I can explain it connecting with the fifth mirror. The fifth mirror is about the dark night of the soul. The sixth mirror, the same situation right now, whatever we are going through, for some people, it's a sixth mirror, the dark night of the soul. Suddenly people have lost everything. They lost their money, they lost their jobs, they're losing their loved ones all over the world. Isn't it true? So the wisdom I have shared with you right now, you can relate, you can apply to whatever is happening right now. For some of you, it's the first mirror. For some of you, the second mirror. For some of you, it's the third. For some of you, it's the fourth. For some of you, it's the fifth, sixth, seventh. Or maybe for some of you, it's all the six mirrors. So friends, I'm so happy to share this wisdom with all of you at this point of time with whatever is happening right now. And I feel with this wisdom, you'll all be able to connect to that deep essence within yourself. You'll all be able to connect to your true state of being, which is nothing but love. And when you connect, when you realize that you are that love, you are that source of love, you are that source of joy, then each one of us, when we start radiating this love and joy to others, then we start radiating it to the whole planet Earth, then definitely we can create radiant relationships. Then definitely we can bring sacredness into our life, into our relationships. And definitely we can co-create a paradise on this planet Earth. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Thank you.